Hello, Agave Azul on Boulder Investors. This is the July 2019 financial update and just the 1 year overview of the property. So, real quick, I'll make this really quick. We're just going to go over year one pro forma versus actuals, a brief overview of the submarket, our goals for the next year of operations, what we have left to do with CapEx, and then I'll give you a quick video tour of the full property. So here was these are our year one pro forma projections and then what we actually did. You'll see here on the year one pro forma rents there at the bottom, the one thing that we did fail to do was the unit conversions to get to 75 units. Just as a reminder, that was because of the specific use permit process and dealing with the neighborhood. And one of the caveats of a specific use permit is that the property has to enhance the neighborhood, and the neighborhood association felt that more congestion and more density in housing was not going to be beneficial to that neighborhood. So we are sticking at 66, and we will stay at 66 for the remainder of our operations. But you can see that our rent growth is nice and healthy. We are achieving effective rents on a 1-1 of 850, for a 2-2 950, for the townhomes, the 2-1 and a half we're getting 1,000, and for the 3-2 flats we're getting 1,200. So overall, very healthy growth over the first year of operations. Here you can see the year one pro forma total income and then our actual income from all revenue streams for the first year. So our total net rental income was $50,000 over what we had projected, and that mainly came because our lost lease was not as substantial as projected. And then for our ancillary incomes, we didn't do quite as well as anticipated in the pro forma, but because of the healthy rent growth, that offset one another. So we were pretty darn close in our projections, and luckily we came in about $6,000 over what we had projected for the first year. Here's our expenses. There's only a couple things that I want to draw to your attention. You'll see in the real estate taxes that we were anticipating $85,000, and we've only spent $52,000 in either in expenses or in escrow. And so we do anticipate that going up. I think our tax bill is about $78,000, but it is under protest. So that is one reason why we are not being as aggressive with the distributions at this moment. The other thing is under salaries, under actual year one expenses, the labor burden. Still dealing with this. Our payroll taxes are still reflecting 20%, which is still too high. I've had 2 discussions with Astra with this, and there's still no resolution, and we're still looking into it, and hopefully we can come to an agreement on what this actually should be later on down the road. Here's a graph of our growth over the past year since our acquisition in August of 2018. So you can see we've had a 40% increase in gross income, and our expenses are starting to level out around that $30,000 per month range, and I project that this trend should continue. Here's a graph of the past 3 months with NOI and the potential cap rates that the property could sell at. So currently the property is worth anywhere between about 5.9 million and at the highest end 7.5 million. So very, very healthy growth over this year. For the South Oak Cliff submarket, there's been a lot of properties that have undergone some heavy rehab over the past year, and their rents reflect that. So you can see us on the left. Our 1 bedrooms are $850, 2 bedrooms are between $950 and $1,000 depending on the finish out, and 3 bedrooms are $1,000 to $1,200. The Muse is our closest competitor, and their rents are pretty close to where we are. They are achieving a higher rent on a 2-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. And then Estrella just went through it looks great. It went through a major rehab in parallel with us, and their rents across the board are higher than ours. And then Westwood, that has actually been rebranded recently, and they are under new management, and I anticipate that their rents will start to go up. But you can see that we're right in line with market rents, and we project that they will start to go up in the next year. Here's just a broad overview of what each unit is in its condition right now. The blue highlighted unit numbers are just a light classic renovation. Um, the yellow units have not been touched by us at all, and it still has the same tenants in as when we took over. And then green are the high-end renovations with new cabinets, granite countertops, and new appliances. So we have 39 units that are currently at or above market rent. We have 27 units that are below market rent, and we need to burn off that loss to lease over the next year. And then we have 20 units that we have not put our hands on to renovate at all. For year two, for our goals and expectations, for all units, we are going to increase rent by $50 a month and stress test the market. So as leases come up for renewal, we will do a 50% increase. We're going to offer $500 upgrades to the classic units in the form of either a new fridge, a countertop, or a glass mosaic backsplash. We will also be increasing the utility bill back for water. We're currently at 57% of the total water bill, and we're going to increase that to 75%. And we're also going to start to increase, or we're going to start rubbing back for electricity. And then we'll also burn off the loss to lease on the 27 units that are below market rent. For our just monitoring the expenses, we're going to continue to operate at or below 50% of total income, work to clarify and hopefully reduce the payroll taxes that are currently at 20%. We're going to negotiate a more reasonable health care benefits for the on-site employees, and things that are going to go up, property insurance. We've already worked through the property insurance, and it went up to approximately $36,000 annually. And then property maintenance and repair, as we get to the end of our CapEx budget, that maintenance and repair is going to start to appear above the line. Here's just an expectation of where occupancy was. If you'll recall, you'll see that it's low in May of 2019. That's where we were still having a lot of on-site transfers, about 6 a month. So March, April, and May of 2019, occupancy was hovering around 90%. And then once we got through that phase of things and leveled out with the on-site transfers, then occupancy really started to tick up. And as of right now, today is the 22nd of August, and we are projecting 100% occupancy for the next few months. For distributions, distributions are going to remain modest through Q3 and Q4 of 2019 just because of the uncertainty of the property tax bill. Our property tax bill is currently under protest for the 2019 tax year, and we should have a better idea of cash flow once that final number comes in. For our CapEx, there's on the balance sheet that you received with this financial update, there's $97,000 remaining in the CapEx account, $87,000 in the lender escrow. Our inspection on the property for that escrow took place this morning, and everything looks good. There's still one small project that we have to take care of, but other than that, everything is looking great. So we have $185,000 in our CapEx budget total, $8,000 remaining to pay the vehicle gate contractor, and then $7,000 remaining for the monument sign. $26,000 for materials reimbursement that was all put on my credit card for electrical fixtures, appliances, and doorknobs and things of that nature. So $144,000 remaining in the CapEx budget. We have the 21 units that we haven't touched. So we've we've walked those units now, and we've come up with a plan for those to make sure that they are habitable and in good condition. And we created work orders for all of those, so it's actually not going to come out of this CapEx budget except for maybe 2 countertops. So there's not really a budget to do for that. It's all going to be handled by Ralph, our maintenance guy. And then we've got some potholes that have popped up in our parking lot, so we're going to have to come up with a budget for that. And that will come out of that remaining CapEx budget. And then the plan is just to sit on the remaining cash so that we can comfortably get to the finish line. And then once a sale is realistic, we will spend the remaining capital budget on the exterior enhancements. So that'll be pergolas, a playground, and then a pitched roof. And if we can do all of that, that would be great. If we can only do some of it, it will just depend on the budget. So that's it. So thank you for your support and your trust in this project. I think it's going really well overall, and hopefully this little video tour will be a good indication of that. So thank you all.